time.
Oh. Cool. Let's start. So to start with, today we're going to go through how to book high quality appointments and order for your business. And I know there's a question to what are appointments? Appointments tied to people in the service industry. I'll give an example. If you do maybe makeup, in most cases, you make an appointment with a makeup artist and then you meet up, right? And that's an appointment. If you want to see a dentist, you make an appointment with a dentist and the dentist sees you. Some people make appointments with their barbers, but most cases those are walk-ins. And for orders, I think that's pretty straightforward for everyone. So in the training, you should have, after the training is done, you should have an understanding of how you could structure your marketing, specifically ads, to give you high quality appointments or orders affordably and on autopilot. So what that means is that if you have an ad running, you do not have to walk around scared. Where am I getting the next business? Where my orders have stopped. For 1 week, I've not gotten an order. So if you implement the system we're going through, it should be straightforward that if you've implemented it correctly and you've articulated your value proposition, you should actually get people appointments and orders. So we will go through all of them, but maybe to start with, I'll introduce myself. My name is Chamba De Simon, and today I think I'll be taking lead on this masterclass. I'm not sure I'm excited. I'm a bit nervous also, but I'm excited to share to over, I think I saw 30 people at the beginning. That's quite a number of people that turn up. And I'll tell you why it's interesting, because the system we are talking about is the same system we use to get you here. That's maybe the good part of it. And we'll go on and then maybe start with myself. So since 2014, I have worked with different companies, helping them get more orders and appointments. It's still the same: orders, appointments. If a business wants to get sales or customers in, usually they use the same system. Some just don't figure it out, but it's usually the same system. So I've been responsible for thousands of orders and appointments booked every single month. Formerly, I've worked as a cross-border e-commerce manager, Jumia Global. If you've been on Jumia and you've shopped on Jumia, which I think you all have, which is making an order, we'll talk about it later, was also head of growth, head of performance marketing, on-site merchandiser at Jumia. And currently, I work as a chief commercial officer at Imuka Access. So the company that Joy has given a long introduction about, that felt like a YouTube ad you can't forward. No hard feelings, Joy. But thank you for the introduction. So I have been using this system for the past 10 years or so. So 2014, this is me. And I have a shop in Mabilizi, and we're selling refurbished computers, laptops, basically what people call RIDB these days, yes. But those days, it was quite simple. You get on Facebook and you promote an ad and you get those orders. So since then, I've been fascinated by what the system could do or advertising could do, and maybe learning along the way to streamline it to help people to answer that question of how can I get orders using ads. So some of the proof here you will see. I don't know if it's very clear. This is a campaign I ran for a client. I have deducted everything mostly, and it shows you orders generated. These are all orders, purchases for different items. And the lowest campaign I see here has over 647. The highest is 18K. So 18K in orders, and we're not looking at revenue. But we could look at revenue and we see how that works and what it looks like. You would see the purchase value in euros. And so you run ads, and then over time you're able to get that. So the beauty of it is that if you're working as a small company, you will find that, let me say you're selling, I've seen some people here, I think someone sells perfumes. So if you're selling 10 perfumes and you're doing 10 orders a day, it's manageable. But if you chose to say, I'm going to sell the whole of Kampala, then you'd find that you have to create systems around it to make your business profitable. The reason why most businesses maybe do not break that threshold of this looks like a small business that you're doing, however profitable, sometimes it has a lot to do with systemizing it, and we'll be talking about it. I've helped work with over 50 entrepreneurs that I can count. So the system works for everyone who gets clients or who has a business, it works for you. So whichever business you're in here, there's probably a way you could fit in. It's not a one system fits all. You could be a real estate agent, and I've worked with a real estate agent, and what he wants, at first he came to me and said, you know what, Simon, I want to get leads. I said, leads are simply contacts that you get, right? Sorry. Oh, I'm still on. Leads are simply contacts you get, and why would you want to simply get leads? So for him, he was doing it the traditional way. I put out an ad, I ask for your contacts, or I give you a freebie, and then in exchange, you give me your contact details, and I put you in my funnel, and I then try to push you to purchase my business. Now, over time, I think we did it, I've done it before, and it's not really a very good way to do business. And I will be talking further about it. I think we'll get it. But these are some of the businesses that I cover. So the roadmap for today's, we'll have the introduction, and I think I have covered the introduction, at least most of it. We'll go down to get to fundamentals of what you need to know to use the system to be able to book high quality appointments or orders for your business on autopilot. We'll talk about how to do that, and one of the crucial aspects of using this system is that you should be able to craft a compelling offer, a no-brainer. And I know when people say offers, people think about 40% off, free delivery. But cliche as those sound, sometimes they work, but they might not get you so far. And maybe we shall delve into that. I know some of you have tried them and they've probably worked or they've not worked, but we will get into that. So creating an offer is very crucial for what we're going to go through. And we will talk about funnels. By funnels, I mean, we mean when you run an ad, where do you send the people? And how do you get them from the ad to clicking to signing up, and probably if it is signing up and probably using your business or making an order. That is very important. And I know it's very flexible for different businesses. I know you can have a small business and you realize you don't need a website, but your clients come through a different way. Some clients, when if it's WhatsApp, they're okay with that. Some clients, it might require you to have a website. Some clients, it's you book on a calendar. Some clients, so it's different aspects of how different businesses fit in and those businesses. I I think the most interesting part that I'm also looking forward to will be talking about the ads, how to structure the ads, and here we'll delve a lot on what goes into the chemistry of the ads. Um, okay, then I think I'll set you off to launch your own systems to book quality. So that will be the flow of our discussion, and I'll be coming back every now and then to figure it out. Okay, cool. So our starting point will be on fundamentals, and I wanted to start with the psychology of appointment ads. So even when I say appointment ads and your business is not appointment, it actually applies to people who sell items. And I know there are people here who sell items, so don't mind the language, it's interchangeable. I will switch off my WhatsApp. It is distracting. Sorry about that. Okay. Okay, we 35 so far. Psychology of appointments. Okay. So before we start, I just wanted to confirm how many of us have businesses. You could just react to the Zoom with a thumbs up. If you don't have a business, you can do a thumbs down. Just to know we are talking to the right people. Mukisa, Jemima has, okay, thumbs up. Joan has a business, Prosi has a business, and I think they've written. So some of your customers are actually here. Try to put in the chat what you do as we go through. Okay. Isaac has a business. Try to see the other people. Okay. Cool. So we will start with the psychology of appointments. So there's research that backs the thinking that from the time someone does an initial search, this is Google, so they speak about search, but it has more to do with from the time someone interacts with your ad. Yeah. Some purchase within a day, others take several weeks. Now, that depends. You've also seen there sometimes you pass uh, something you didn't plan to buy. Yeah. And all of a sudden you find yourself buying it, right? And this is not something you had in mind. So some people, it takes a day. All they have to do is find the right triggers and they'll get purchasing. Sometimes it takes several weeks. You see something, you point at it in a week in a window, and you wait patiently until that day. You probably be comparing prices. Is it good quality? Are these people? Can I trust them? So there are quite a number of factors that go in there. So when you're doing ads, you have to actually have that in mind. It comes in handy because I've seen people put up ads, and when they launch the ad, they start to count down. Why aren't people calling? Why aren't people? And I've worked with clients who are like that. Even before 7 days, which is the recommended time, sometimes an ad can actually bring you like it can get you the feedback you want, the orders or the appointments immediately. Sometimes it takes time. So it is a good thing to carry in mind when you're going to run ads and you want to book appointments. So what does this mean for you? It means you need three main components because people are judging you before they even get to booking or buying your product. So you show your ad, yeah. Oftentimes people click, and when they click, they make an assumption. And I'm going to ask people if you've seen this before. I have seen an ad for, what was it on Facebook? An ad on Facebook for a product. It was something to do, something that cuts groceries, tomatoes, carrots, and all you had to do was put the item there, then press. And that was the video. It was simple as that. it caught my attention because I think at that time I was actually doing a lot of cooking. And the point is that it simplifies everything. You don't have to do the peeling, the cutting, the chopping board, all that. It carries the biggest burden. So when I saw that ad, it had my attention, right? And the first thing I did was check out. I didn't even care what the price was or what the offer was, but it talked to me because it's a pain point I had. I hated cutting. The process of cutting before you cook is way harder. And I found myself clicking on the ad to learn more about who is selling. And the first thing I did was not go to the profile of the person selling, but was to look at the feedback. And in the feedback, people were asking questions like, where are you located? How much is it? Uh, is it from China? Is the quality good? Can I get a discount? I am sure every one of you has seen one of these ads and you get intrigued all of a sudden. So, to break it down here, in this case, uh, at least from my point of view for that ad, was that I saw the offer. The offer was not basically 10% off, but the presentation of the offer was that they could help me reduce a pain point I had, which was cutting groceries before cooking. And when I checked, it was to confirm whether I mean are these people I can buy from. Do they even reply? So when you see those questions of how much is it, and then someone says DM for price, you'll probably be like, do I really want this item that much? But if they put the price there and they are supportive in the comments, you probably get more support. So, in a way, on a psychological level, you do not understand what is happening, but you are actually building your liking and it's increasing the chances of you buying from this. So, seeing all that engagement, usually the social proof, which is comments on people clicking on an ad, is it gives you the social proof. You reinforce. People like to go where others are. And I think that's something we know already. It has a lot to do with FOMO. So if you have an ad, if it's going to run and people are going to judge you on those items. And it's always very good to actually put them as very important. So we've covered what the psychology is and how people get to first you have to get their attention, you have to appeal to a pain point they have. Your offer must be compelling, right? We've gone through that. They must like you, and there should be some sort of social proof. Sadly, there's no way of adding comments maybe and social proof to one ad, but in my experience, when I would run ads for a long time, the social proof accumulates. And you can actually encourage this by actually reaching out to those people who comment. People feel good when you reply their queries. In fact, those who come to see the ad after are like, these guys are probably legit. And you support, you give your location and you give everything. So that is top of mind. You should have it top of mind that people have a way they come to choose to work with you when you put up an ad. So we'll speak about offers. I think I did talk about it. So it doesn't matter, and I've seen maybe this amount. I can ask from the group who has an offer for their business right now.
Hello, this is Cameron Winnie. We do have offers from area sewerage disposal. Simon.
Simon, you
Hello?
muted.
Oh,
Please kindly
oh,
repeat.
sorry. I think I muted myself. Yes. Winnie, I wanted to hear from you what your offer is to the group.
Yes, this is Winnie speaking. We give
Yes, Winnie.
offers like in form of discounts. If you have, we have
Okay.
normally have targets. If you can
Yeah.
raise like 5 barrels, barrels are like drums. 5
Yeah.
barrels, each barrel, if it is an offer, we give it at 25. But in other normal working days, it's at 30,000.
Okay. I think that's an interesting offer. What has been your feedback? Are people buying? Are they engaged? Do they fight for it? Are you out of barrels yet?
With this engagement, what we do, we make like a target and we look at the community. So our target is like, we have to have a target of around 80 number of people. So on the 80 number of people, our target is 5 barrel per person. So on 5 barrel per person, we give a discount of 25. So
Okay.
with that, in the due course, people write themselves, because if they see if someone is giving us a 25 and is giving us 5 barrels, so that is an opportunity. Then another opportunity, we say, if you have 30,000 per barrel, we give you 1 free barrel as an offer. So
Yeah.
that's what also we do at times.
So I am guessing the feedback is actually good. The response to your offer is actually good from what you've mentioned.
Yes, the response comes out very good.
Nice. I don't know if I need your product, but I need to see that offer after. You can even share it with us here in the group. I'm sure there are people who need barrels. Yeah. So I'll go back to and I think it goes back to my point, and I think she has made the point, Winnie, that it doesn't matter how good the words you say. If the offer does not make sense to the people, they will not actually use your offer. So I'll use an example of Safe Border. I used to be a Safe Border customer, probably one of the pioneers. I was a bit adaptive. I think I've since changed to technology. But I later realized that people came to Safe Border not because they couldn't take the other, but there was an offer. The offer was, one, when you ride with us, you're going to be safe. You don't have to worry who is taking you. We know where you're going. And also, the price is not that high. And it was a no-brainer. That was the offer. It was a no-brainer. And probably they didn't even need to run an ad. I don't think I saw an ad during the early days. But to think of an offer, it's just a no-brainer that when people have to choose between any other option, they would come to you. In the past, I think I've seen one for discounts. I've worked in Jumia, I think. No, I don't think. I've worked in Jumia and I have seen people run discounts. But discounts, when not done carefully, I think sometimes can mess your unit economics. That means you can offer and you end up in a loss. So when you're making an offer and it's mostly on discounts, you have to be very careful. So if you don't have a great offer, people won't make an order with you. And this comes back to the example of Safe Border. I think Safe Border changed there. And sorry if anyone is from Safe Border, I'm just giving it as a customer because I also use Safe Border. I think they chose to change the model a bit and it became a lot more expensive. And you could see that people were not that, were not that receptive of of the offer. In the past, I've seen, I think when I worked at Jumia, we were giving vouchers as a company. And, sometimes people would come to order. And even when someone we knew was going to make the order, they would still call in and say, can I have that voucher? But even when they were going to make the order, so that means the company made a loss because this person was going to buy anyway. So sometimes availing, you need to be careful. So sorry, I've drifted off a bit there, but the point is that your offer has to be a no-brainer. Like she has said, when they turn it out and say, for this number, you get this number, it makes sense to the people, and people are willing to engage. So we'll go back to the part of we're still breaking down what you need, what your customers are judging you on. So we've done offers. So yeah, some people don't like you. I mean, even in the real life, you meet people and there are some you like, there's some it's a work in progress. So, but if you want to be liked, and I think we have a great opportunity, I think, this time is that you have to be relatable. Now, what does that mean? It means the closest thing to an offer is not always a discount. Sometimes you just have to be relatable. Relatable means that, I don't know, there are so many. I'm spoiled for choice, but there are people who endorse products to me, and I am actually happy to think about them. I don't know. I'll give an example of an influencer I know, Uncle Mo. Uncle Mo in his early days was funny, relatable, and even everyone out there, I think, the people who saw him, at least as in the marketing centers, pushed to have him as an influencer. And it didn't take really long until he picked up. I don't know. And these days I've seen he actually endorses products. And the way he does the endorsing is a bit, it's natural. Okay, it's entertaining, but sometimes it's as natural as it can be. So if you want people to react to your ad that you've put out there, you have to be relatable. I know some people like to read from a script. I personally wouldn't read from a script. It would be so hard. You could have a guiding, because when you read from a script, you sometimes come off as, there are people who do TikToks and they sound like a news reporter. And there are people who do TikToks and they sound like you're there with them. And what they're talking about is funny. Even the way you laugh so carelessly. So in structuring your ads or creating ads, and you want people to tap into the psychology of people, it's encouraged that you be relatable. We will talk about scripts a lot further down. Social proof, I think I talked about this. The more social proof your ad has, the more clicks and appointments you'll get. I've talked about this. So people see your ad, it's attractive, they like what they see. The first thing they're going to do is go look at the comments. What are people saying? And to be honest, you can't put it against them. Even when I see a very funny TikTok, I laugh. Sometimes my tears come out. And then I go to comments and you will see sometimes a comment that just changes the narrative. So this is how people consume. This is how I consume. I see something I like, I will click and I go down. This time, not maybe for social proof, but if I need to, sometimes it's to see the engagement. Now I want to engage. I want to see what other people think about it. I'll give you another example. If someone puts out a big headline, let me say, Chamba de Simon is giving out a car at the end of this masterclass for everyone who attended, right? That is big news. If you saw it on Twitter, you'll go down to see and see what are people saying, right? That is how we consume. So people usually go and seek another opinion as a way to make their decision. So you want to tap into this, and if you have an ad running and it's a good ad running, usually if it's a good ad running, people will comment on it and they'll like it. And when they do, please be as helpful as possible, because the longer the ad runs, the more social proof it generates, and don't get tired of answering those uh, those queries that are there, because they determine a lot. If they ask the price and you're taking them in corners, no one would want to go uh, and maybe continue. So if you have an amazing offer, people like you, and have great social proof on your ads, I have seen it work, I have used it, you will succeed. If your offer is an absolute no-brainer, like Winnie told us, she has people, when they hear you get this and if it's this amount, we'll reduce for you this amount, and it makes sense, people will want it. And that's the way of life. So these are some of the things that I think I had stated out here. What your target customers are judging you out. So if you're making an ad, it is very, very important to actually have this in mind. And I think I like to tell people, if you're making an ad, make it like the last TikTok you saw and made you laugh so hard, even your tears came out. Like, that is the engagement, things that made you smile, that is how people consume, and that is what appeals to them. Okay, I think I saw a conclusion there. So on the second part of the pyramid, yeah, second part of the psychology, sorry, is buyer's pyramid. So research has, first of all, what is a buyer's pyramid? It's a concept that describes the different stages, the buying process, and the proportion of potential customers that fall into that stage. I will go further maybe. I didn't draw the pyramid. Sorry, my bad on that. But basically, think of a triangle and then cut it out. If you know Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it's a triangle, and then they cut it down. So at the top, we have the 3% that you see, and below it, we have the 7%, the 30%, 30%, 30%. I know 30% mathematically doesn't look correct, but the numbers are correct. So think of it this way, that 3% of the people you're targeting, or when you target an ad, 3% of your total audience that you've targeted your ad is the number of people that will buy. That's a good ad, right? 7% are open to it. I mean, they're not going to buy there and then. They'll probably buy after a week. They've probably saved it or pinned your ad, and they're just looking for the money. Or they've asked you where you're located because they want to make that move, but they are open. They are actually open. I say, let me save your number. I know someone who needs to buy this. So, and in this, you find that it's a wide array of people. The other 30% are not thinking about it. They probably have the problem, but they are not self-aware. I'll give an example. I'll go back maybe to safe border. Like, yes, we knew borders were dangerous, moving around when you're not wearing a helmet. Yeah, right? It was a no-brainer, but people weren't really buying helmets. But safe border saw that, created a business around it, and people who were not self-aware, in fact, you could find some people and say, hey, sebo zetu ina na hairnet katugenda kumutwala otya, as if they got on a normal border, they would not take that ride, which was something that was funny. Now that people were self-aware, and those are the 30%. So there are those who don't think, they are interested. I know very many people who refuse to adopt safe border, interestingly. And there are those who know they'll never use that service or product that you'll say. For you, you might talk about it in different ways, but in their mind, they have made up their mind. Like, I will never use that product. So with that in mind, so this is backed by research. I didn't want to put links, but I think we'll have the links in the bottom. How is this pyramid relevant to you? You say, Simon, you've talked about the pyramid. Yes, I know 3% are ready to buy, 7% are open to it, the 30% don't think about it. The answer is that the top 10%, those who are ready to buy and those that open to it, are the people you actually target. Now, it goes back to when you start a business and you start to say, but who are my customers? Who's going to buy, right? Where do I get the orders? Now, to whatever your product is and whatever your offer is, the people who are ready to buy now, the people who are open to it, are the top 10%. And this system that I'm talking about mainly focuses on people that are open to it and are ready to buy now. Why? And I'll give a simple example. Let me say I'll pick a business here. Whose business should I use an example? You can volunteer your business with a show of hand, or you can talk.
You can use mine.
Yes, Caroline, what's your business?
I do make customized African bags from sisal and jute material.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. So we'll use your business as an example. I hope you've put your business details, a link to your whatever you use to convert your customers in here. Everyone here is a potential customer. I can tell you that. These are business-minded people. So we'll go back. Yeah, we'll go back to the 10%. So the reason why I'm saying that is that you probably, let me say you make bags out of sisal, and they're cute bags, they're nice bags, right? And now you want to look for customers. One of the things I'll tell you, and I know this because I market, is that you will never have enough budget to let everyone in this country know about your business, right? Would you agree about that?
Yeah.
Caroline?
Yeah.
Yeah. So as a business owner and as someone who's starting out a small business, you want to be very, 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 very intentional about how you spend your money. So the reason why I use or encourage people to use this system is simply one, because it focuses on those people who will be interested to buy your products now or are open to having your product. So, and I'm sure this works out well for you. You found people you've tried to pitch to, and they'll probably never buy your bag. And even you deep down, you know, this person might not buy my bag. But there are people you find the first day and they just get onto it. They don't care the price, they don't do what they say. I like this bag. I'll give an example. I don't know if it's sisal, but there was a time I was in Nairobi and I saw this bag. It was a great bag, women's bag. Don't ask me why I was looking at women's bags. And as I saw the bag, I noticed a bag made out of fabric I knew. And my mom had a similar bag. And what she used to do was she used to keep sweets in there. Every time you come out from school, you come and check in that bag, there's probably a sweet. I don't know if she used to do it on purpose, but I knew that bag for that reason. So here I am in Nairobi and I am seeing so many bags. And my childhood just reflects back on me. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe there might not be sweets here, but I know someone who would love this bag. So to me, the connection was a lot more. I was ready to buy it there and then. And I asked the price and I got the bag. The rest is history. So there are lots of things you have to do to get people to buy, but one of them is try and focus on the top 10% that are ready to buy. people who are in the market for what you offer. So there are aspects where you find that you maybe find people who are telling you, but now wait until the end of the month, wait until this has to happen for that to happen, this has to happen. And it becomes a chain link of events for them to buy from you. That is an indicator that actually in the pyramid, you've gone beyond the 3%, 7%, which is the 10%. And now you're coming to people who we clearly stated are not thinking about it. These are not early adopters. They take time. Yes, they convert sometimes. And most businesses I've seen that run lead generation ads, that is, give out a freebie, let me say, a guide or anything that is free, they usually attract people who maybe are not yet there. Like I have mentioned, we used to give out vouchers, and it turned out even people who wanted to buy, they would just call and just, do you have vouchers? And it became more of, this has to be in place for me to buy. So it means you actually, your targeting or your strategy is wrong, and you'd have to revise it. Okay. Those who are coding, okay, I think we've covered that part. And I think earlier on I talked about the real estate agent I worked with, and he seemed to want a lead generation way of doing things. Lead generation, I don't know who has run a lead generation campaign here before. We could take an example. I know there are many business developers, people who have worked in sales. We could take a volunteer. I am going to pick anyone who has run a lead generation business strategy before. Gloria, allow me to choose you. I'm sure you've run lead generation. Okay, we will move on. So how lead generation works, it's simple. You put out an ad, the ad runs, and you collect information for people. So in most cases, you have to entice them, tell them that you'll get this for free, or you download this for free, and all we need from you is a phone contact, a number. Some even go as brave as to ask you for email contact, and you get this information, put it all together, and then you start to reach out to them. So you'll have to first call them. Sometimes they answer, sometimes they don't answer. You'll send an email follow-up. Sometimes they answer, sometimes they don't. Those who answer and create an appointment, in most cases and in most ads I've run that are to do with lead generation, there is that process that marketers actually add that is quite not necessary for people who are maybe targeting the 10%. So if you're targeting the 10%, you probably don't have that time. You probably don't have those resources. You don't have the time to schedule calls and, follow up. Hey, you asked me to call you today. And I see this, I don't know if you've talked to a loan officer. Loan officers usually call. They're very nice people when they're calling you. They tell you, you've reached here now. We noticed you can get, if you run a business, your business reached this threshold. So what is happening is actually you are a lead. They saw you reached a particular maybe threshold, and now they've put you in a pipeline and they're trying to drag you through it. And in most cases, when you receive these cold calls, the answer is no. Even when you initiated and you gave your details, you're like, did I really need this? No. So if you're a business and you're looking to target The other 10% that we mentioned about earlier on, there is the new way, and you just run the ads, and from the ads, you set up the appointment. So I'll bring back the real estate agent. All he wanted at the end of doing the old way, getting the leads and everything, he just wanted people to come and view the place, if they were interested or not. So if it is land, he just wanted these people to come and view the land and make a decision. And what he told me is that the serious people are the ones who actually come to view the land. So I said, okay, that makes sense. Then we should make the ad to be about scheduling appointments or booking a time with you to go view the property. And in so doing, it did save him a lot of time. And I think I've done it also for a company. They were also selling condos. They were not really doing land. They were selling condos. And this was the brief way they got clients. And before you know it, you have a calendar full of Monday. I have these people that are ready to come by are ready to come and view this place. Maybe on this day, I have this number of people ready to come and see whatever your business is and whatever your target is. But it made it easy for him, and it made it worthwhile, because now he knew that he didn't have to call, follow up, send an email, and be a brother to these people who he actually wanted to sell to. And that's one of the many ways you could use this system. I don't know if there are other people who think this could be a better way for their booking appointments. So we'll go maybe through and ask people, do you think your business can actually benefit from directly getting people to act on what you want? I'll give another example. If you, let me say, do makeup, right? I think makeup artists, some of the people I think on Instagram who have a lot going on for them. So if you own a salon and you do makeup, you find that it's easier for you to actually have people book with you. And let me say, you target them with an ad and you say you're targeting people who have a wedding. Weddings happen every weekend, if you don't know that. So if you're doing makeup or if you're an events organizer, just know weddings happen every weekend. So you could be a person doing makeup, you could be a person renting out clothes. You target your ads, and all you have to do is not ask people if they would come to your business. No, you target them in a way to tell them that if you are ready and this is where you are and this is what you want, please come, take measurements. We'll find something that will work for you to rent and go look good on that event. If it's makeup, book an appointment here, and your time will book this time for you and we'll work for it. I have used the same for consultations. I had a calendar, and I think I'll share it later on. And I ran ads to the calendar so that people could book a time and talk with me for 15 minutes. So you have to, if we go back to, you have to target your ads in a way that actually gets them to act decisively. Okay. The fourth item, allow me recollect. The offer. I think we've already talked about the offer. So I have done business, and I'll present two offers to you. And from the group, from the people on the call, I'd like to know how to craft an offer. We'll talk about how to craft an offer. So in the earlier days, I used to say I do marketing for e-commerce businesses. Yeah. And people are saying, what do you mean you do marketing? Do you do email marketing? Like, in fact, by saying that, I gave them more questions. They had more questions to ask, which was a good thing. But in retrospect, when I started to refine how I do it, looking around how other experts do it, I got to saying, when I was pitching, I tell them, here's how I can help you generate 620,000 orders on autopilot using ads and monthly. And you won't have to move an inch. You won't have to do lead generation. You won't have to do cold calling. You won't have to do prospecting. Now, between 1 and 2, I found a lot of success with 2. And why with 2? Because it is a no-brainer offer. Like, I think, if I remember correctly, it was Winnie. She told us she has a no-brainer offer and people get onto it because it's clear and it fits into. Over time, I have had success. Every time I walk to a business, it could be a supplier, I tell them, you know what, I noticed you have a showroom and everything, but have you considered this using e-commerce? I said, yeah. Like, what's different that you're going to show? Then I tell them I can help you. Ask him how many orders do you receive in your store, and then I give him a comparison of how far he can push with using e-commerce, using ads, and setting up an e-commerce store with a checkout, with payment methods, and how that can help him in-house to have a new channel of to bring in revenue. But I'll also go back to why we are all here. I think you saw from how we structured the wording, it was quite simple. I will go back. I think from the graphic, we had, yes, how to book high quality appointments or orders affordably for your business on autopilot. I think every one of you that saw this and found it interesting have found yourself in a position where actually getting orders was an issue. So looking at it, it's something, when you're structuring an offer, you have to make it in a way that is appealing. And let me get back to the slide where we were. So, cool. We'll continue why option 2. So the reason why option 2 worked out for me well and to get more clients, like I've said, it helped me summarize what I was giving to the people. And let me say today, it helped you summarize what you're going to get from this masterclass, how it benefits you, and your pain points. And in this case, your pain points is probably because you're struggling to have a predictable way of getting clients, right? That could be the pain point. How does it benefit you? You don't have to do cold calling. You don't have to do prospecting. You don't have to, walk into areas. You just do it on autopilot and it works. So we'll get back to this. So from my offer, what is the outcome that I give? And after this exercise, I'm going to ask some of you volunteers to write how you would structure your offer according to your business needs, right? So as we go through, you'll get and you'll do it. So my offer goes as how I generate 600 to 200 orders for every single month for less than $2 each. Each order will cost you less than $2 on autopilot without lead generation and cold calling. The outcome here is that I tell people is that they'll get over 600 to 200 orders. Yeah. As I've shown you earlier, I showed you screenshots of actually where I did this. And the outcome here is the 600 to 20,000. The benefit is that for less than $2 each on autopilot. So maybe that might not seem like a benefit, but if all you have to do is run an ad, sit down and wait for those orders to come through, someone has saved you a lot of time. And if they do it at $2 for each order, depending on the nature of the product, I have seen people selling fridges and their cost per order was $2.5. And when you think about it, if you sell a fridge of over $500 and all you've spent to get that order is $2, you're already doing well. Now, imagine you could scale that. Now, that's a benefit. That is what I would pitch to the to the people that I'm selling to this service, who are usually suppliers and have the shipping items and they have to put them in their warehouse or in their showrooms and wait for customers to walk in. So I come in and tell them, no, what? Instead of these things being here, you paying storage, paying employees, paying rent, you could actually take a more proactive action and generate them for a good price. And it's automated and it's predictable. You come to a point and say, I get 50 orders a month from my online store. So what are the pain points I point out? Without lead generation, cold calling, or prospecting. So lead generation, I talked about. Cold calling is the people who call you and they don't know you, you've never met, don't even know how they got your number, and they pitched you to a service. Yeah, that's cold calling. It's one of the hardest things to do. I've tried it in Kampala, and I recommend you should do it. So you know that Kampala is not buildings. I don't know if that's the saying. It's a hard and a tough sale. So prospecting also is one of those. So that is how you would structure your offer as the most important part of your ad. So we'll take a minute, and I think I'll take a minute also to see, maybe to go through what any one of us has written. Can anyone make reference to how they would structure their offer basing on the outcome, the pain point, and a benefit structure? Okay, at the moment, no one. But are people on the call? Yes, I've confirmed. We still have people. Okay, cool. We'll continue. So I'll maybe speak some truths here. If your offer sucks, it just won't work. You run ads and it won't work. Simple as that. You may have amazing, you've hired maybe Swans Avenue to do your video. You have an amazing funnel, someone has designed everything, a killer video sales later, everything. But if the offer does not make sense, you end up falling into the other batch of the psychology of the pyramid that we talked about earlier on. It all ties back to the offer. Your offer is everything, and the whole process, actually, it's like the genesis. It depends on it. So that is maybe something to have in mind. Why the offer is important. It helps you attract your dream customers, thousands of people. I gave this example, a makeup artist, you need to make your offer so much better than your competitors, which is what I think I talked about on a number of different companies I gave. I think I gave how Safe Border positioned itself earlier on. We've gotten an example by Winnie and how she puts an offer and it just fits in. And if it's unique and it's different, it actually works. I think one of the most I've seen an offer that works as a no-brainer in Kampala, and if you were to start and want to test an order, an offer, and this goes to people who have restaurants. If you tell people that buy one get one free, that always works in Kampala. And that's to do with food. So if you have any other thing related to food and you do that, the Bogu offer, it's buy one, get one free, it's quite interesting. It's a no-brainer that people get it and they'll storm. And I think there are places people know just because of their offers. I think there was a place, it's called Nando's. It's on Cajun House where you buy pizzas. But on Thursdays, and I remember this, corporates will go there to buy pizzas to go back with home or sit there and enjoy that offer. And Thursday was probably the best day. So your offer is important and it makes a difference on on how or whether people buy from you. I think I've broken down the outcome. And now we'll go to the second part. And I think we talked about the fundamentals. We've talked about the offer, if you remember very well. And now we're going to build the funnel. Now, the funnel is what comes after the ad. Now, different businesses go about this differently. A real estate person will go about it differently from a person who has a restaurant. Yeah. A person who's running a money lending business will go about it differently. When they run the ad and someone sees the ad and they want to act on, some people use use tools. I have seen the commonest people use is WhatsApp business. Yeah. Someone puts an ad somewhere or says something about their business and they say, by the way, you can make your order on WhatsApp, right? And you go on WhatsApp, look through the catalog and you say, I want this, I want this. And then all of a sudden it's delivered to you and you get it. Now, that is one of the simplest ways I've seen it done. And I know people who use perfumes do this, people who sell bags do this. We have someone who sells bags here. They can confirm. Hello, do we still have you?
Yes,
Yes, Caroline. Do you use WhatsApp?
yes, I do.
Okay. How have you structured your WhatsApp for people to buy? Have a catalog? Can they make an order? How does it usually go for
I
you?
have a catalog where you go and view the different options
Okay.
and designs that we have.
Yeah.
Then you make an order from the catalog.
An order.
Yeah.
Ah, nice, nice. That's thank you for sharing. Just so you know, after this call, the people who have been contributing, I'll be helping you with your businesses. Those who are not contributing, if you have problems, please contribute so that you also take some of that. So we'll look through your businesses. We set up a date, and you probably tell me your funnel. So I encourage many of you. So far, I think Caroline has that offer. If she ever wishes to take it on, she just has to reach out to Imuka, and I'll be in touch. So for those of
Thank
you
you
who
so
are keeping
much.
quiet,
I'm glad.
yes, yes. Don't be glad. You're doing a lot. We are pushing this masterclass together. And the person who had drums earlier on, not forgetting. Okay, we'll continue. So when it comes to funnels, it's basically how.
Winnie is the name.
Yes. So feel free, wherever your ads, be able to chip in and help you. And I'm encouraging other people to continue contributing. So quite a number of businesses use different platforms. And most of the small businesses I have stated that do e-commerce use WhatsApp. It's e-commerce, but small businesses I've seen, they use WhatsApp, and WhatsApp is good because it's a no-brainer. And I know some people say, but WhatsApp is so small, it's for small businesses. I want a website. And then someone comes to your website and asks you, what is your WhatsApp? And even on the website, they're looking for your WhatsApp. So sometimes it's really good to give this information upon, because that's how actually people think and that's how they relate. It's more of the psychology. If you are more on the side of consulting, let me say you are maybe on I have done some consulting. There are other tools like Google Calendar. Like now, Google Calendar changed, I think, to compete with Calendly, and you can set an appointment. What that means, if you are maybe a person who's doing marketing and you're hoping businesses generate orders, you probably create a website for them and create for them a flow that allows them to bring in orders. So if it's a dentist, it's probably Calendly. I'll share with you my Calendly and I'll show you what it looks like. Yeah. Share this tab instead. Please confirm if you can see it. So this is my calendar. Today is the 18th. You can't book me, but if you chose to say you wanted to talk to me on Friday the 19th, it gives you time slots that are available, 9, 9:30, all through. So in a day, it means I have limited slots to talk to people. Someone might say me, I'm an Alibad, and they put an email, and then their name, and then they share anything that will help me prepare before the meeting. This way, I get a notification and I say, this person, and this person at this time made this booking and they want to talk to you at this time. I found it efficient. In Uganda, it didn't work. People in Uganda are mostly phones, chat, SMS. But if you're trying to target maybe customers out of the country and you want to offer maybe digital marketing services, I found that the norm there is that people actually book. Actually, people in other markets almost book everything. They book to go to restaurants, they book to go to to see a doctor and everything. So in building your funnel, which is how people get to make that order, you have to know what is optimal for you. If you don't know, I would advise you to seek. If you're having challenges, let me tell you, let me give an example of WhatsApp is good if you're getting 10 orders a day, right? But the day you get 100 orders, trust me, you will realize that you'll probably lose most of them, not because you couldn't work on them, because somewhere in between you lost a conversation, you lost the gas. Yet if you get 100 orders a day, you now have to know that, okay, this I can't handle as a person. I need to set up a system and create a website where people can serve themselves and make a call to deliver. And maybe simply use WhatsApp for calls. The other platforms I've seen use this is Shopify, WooCommerce. These are mostly for websites and for e-commerce. The affordable version of Calendly or Microsoft Outlook, Google Calendar is Zoho. I would advise people to look into Zoho. So setting up your funnel, I think we've talked about it. There are 3 components. You set up a place where people land. And in this place, you can include an offer, a video sales letter, a copy. I'll go through each one of these. And part of them is the appointment booking page. Like you've seen, if someone said, hello, Simon, how are you? And they sent me a chat on WhatsApp, I would like to, I have this problem. I'll probably tell them, yes, thank you for reaching out. Please book a time so that we have a good time. Maybe we'll schedule a call and I'll share with them my calendar. Then they will self-serve themselves to time that I am comfortable with. What this helps you is that if you have so many people coming in, you do not have to go through the nitty-gritties of, trying to remember or writing down, this is the person I need, because these tools actually come with like functions that have triggers that remind you and everything. So we'll talk about offer, VCL, and copy on the homepage for adding your offer to the funnel. The example we've gotten is the user of WhatsApp Business. And you've noticed that on her profile, when someone goes, when they land on the profile on the WhatsApp Business, they can actually see the offers there. She has a catalog and it's well written out, and someone can pick it up from there and choose. Video sales letters. Now, video sales letters may not necessarily be used in ads, and we'll pick out, I think, TikTok. Every one of us here has been on TikTok. There are those people on TikTok who sell, and all they do is stand in front of a camera and talk. And they talk to you like they know you. These people are that brave. I personally, I think I've been on camera for the longest time right now. It's been quite a while. So video sales letters do much as that, but you realize that maybe if you have a specialized product and maybe you are a dentist, you want to maybe okay, not a dentist, makeup artist. You want to articulate and say what people should expect. And when you're articulating the offer, something we talked about. And usually how the script goes, and when you go on WhatsApp, you'll hear, on TikTok, you'll hear someone will say, I'm about to show you the process or the thing that will do this or give you this result. It's similar to what I am doing right now, because I boldly claim that I am going to teach you how to get orders predictably using a particular system. So it's quite similar to what I'm doing. It's just that maybe I don't have a video for it. But should you create a video, actually you could have this flow. You don't have to use my system, but you could find people on TikTok who are already doing this and they're doing it really well. We can share some of those resources on what you can look out for. Recording your video sales later. Well, this one is challenging because personally, I'm not one to record myself, but I know some of you here are influencers and you're natural. For those who are good and comfortable appearing, it just comes natural. You can do it. For those who are not, I think there's a hack, and I've seen it on TikTok. What people do is that they first record, then they edit, then come talk over for the recording. The example could be someone goes and they're checking out a new place. I say, by the way, this weekend I was at this place, but they're not doing it live. They're just narrating, and they're narrating over a video. If you're afraid of showing your face and talking, or if you can't get the script right and you're not there, don't sweat it. You can always do the recording and talk over it in a sequence that makes sense. For those who choose and they're bold and want to talk, you have to do it in a way that is actually natural. What I mean by that is that if I start to maybe sound like record your voice sales later, VSL, tips, direct record for those who are comfortable. I sound robotic and it's not natural. If you're going to do it, pace yourself. Get like, you get on a TikTok and someone is just they're just throwing hook after hook. Before you know it, the TikTok is done and you're hooked. And now you have to scroll and continue or sometimes go back. So it has a lot to do when you're recording. There are many resources that you could use. I'm happy to share some of them that can guide you on how to do this. Examples of funnels that we all use. So I'll start with the simple ones. Yeah. A funnel is what we talked about, is selling to people who actually need your product. I will tell you a funnel I'm impressed about. It's the one when you call, I think on MTN or Airtel, and then your data gets done. And when they cut you off, you receive a USSD that tells you, do you want to borrow 200 shillings? Of course, I want to borrow 200 shillings. Because the timing is right and the need is there, you're definitely going to say yes, and opt to. And I'm sure many of you have fallen for it, but it has a lot to do with placing the offer to those who are in need. The other example I think I'll share is if you've bought on Jumia, that's you go, you land on a page, you see a product you like, you click on it, you choose a size, and then you go out and fill in the information and sit back and wait. You probably go choose a pickup option, and when you put your product, I think I recently did that, when the product is delivered to the pickup station, you get a notification, right? This is still part of the funnel, because the funnel is not just making the order. It also has to have follow-ups, a thank you message, an order confirmation. All these things come in handy because they help the customer through the journey. Another one I like that is business is Netflix. If you go to Netflix, and I know many of you have, and they ask you to fill in your email address, and then they'll show you the devices you want to use, and the process goes on until where you have to choose a package. They pre-select the highest package, which I think is smart because if you choose the lowest package, most times people think towards the lowest. So someone who wants the lowest package will have to choose it out for themselves, which I think is genius, because those who don't worry about the spending or are not careful at that point, they will they'll simply just go on. So it's a flow that is predictable and intuitive to the customer, that they don't need to call you and say, what is happening here? How do I do this? There are those platforms where you have to call someone inside and say, how do you guys do this? Eh? So be the person who creates systems that don't need people to have connections within your company to get what they want. So another maybe example of a funnel we've done is why we are here today. I think we are over 27 people. You will notice that we sent out an ad, not an ad, but we posted to our circles, different people that we know, at least in the circles we know. And people expressed interest. They signed up. Some of you told us the businesses you do, and some of you even pointed out the things you expect to learn from this training. And with that information, we were able to send you a reminder earlier today in email, and probably I think someone called, I'm not so sure. You probably received an SMS, and for some reason, doing all that, the reminders, is the funnel that we created for you to get here. So you're here because you actually got through a funnel. So just in case you have any worries about what a funnel does, you're here because we put you through a funnel for most people. Good funnels are supported by automations. Automations are those, the SMS triggers. You buy airtime, they tell you what time you've bought it, or you subscribe to a bundle, they confirm you've bought it first and foremost, how much it has cost you, the transaction ID, in case you have a complaint. And then even when you use 50% of your data, they tell you, you know what, you've used 50% of your data. In case you've not been budgeting well, we're just letting you know. So you could use these triggers to direct people to do things you want. So for me, when I see a trigger of I've used 50%, in mind, I know, oh, I need to buy another one again. So mentally, they've prepared me. If they did not send me anything and my internet just stops working, I'll be like, but they warned me earlier, because they know when it gets done and I'm not warned early, it would be maybe an inconvenience. I will go through. So we've covered the funnel, which is what people do after they see your ads. But I think we did trace back. Now I'm going to speak about ads in detail. I think for this masterclass, I think this is the part I find interesting personally, because I know many of you are not so quick to hire professionals and you want to do your ads. And I actually encourage people to do their own ads. You learn a lot doing your ads. So for these ones, I've selected Meta ads as an example. But as a reminder, so far we've covered the offer, the funnel, and now we're on ads. So question is, Simon, why have you chosen Meta ads? Yeah, Facebook is blocked. No one is using Facebook. No one has that time anymore. I want to say, I thought that, but I know very many big companies in this country that are actually using Facebook to generate orders. It is not as good as it used to be. So yes, I know Facebook is good. But also there are other factors. Facebook works, but the other factors it's relatively cheap than other platforms. It's a lot more user-friendly. I know many of you have tried to create an ad for your business. It's easy to get proof of concept. It's easy to set up. And if you have an offer, You will just create something in Canva, put it out there, and get it running. It's not the same case if you're using Google Ads. You have to look for words people use, and you can expand also on your. So for those who are eager to not use Facebook, I would encourage you to use it. And then from there, after proving concept, you can expand to other aspects. Okay, customers. So these are some of the things I hear people say. My customers don't use Facebook ads. Facebook is blocked. But this is not true. Personally, I've done it and it works. And the interesting bit is that for those where we've made success on Facebook, they've tried to do X, they've tried to do Google ads. And trust me, we were not able to replicate the same success that we had, even when Facebook is blocked. But I could be wrong, and there could be use cases here of people who have succeeded. But when I say Facebook ads, I mean also Meta, I mean Instagram, because Instagram is part of now Facebook. Facebook does not work for my business, and I think these are just skepticisms that I usually address. Okay.
Simon, if you're sharing screen,
Yes.
we don't seem to see it on our side.
Anymore? Oh, okay. Sorry. Allow me share again. I don't know how I stopped sharing. Give me a second. Yes, allow me share again. Sorry about that. Okay. Eugene, will we confirm? Okay.
Yeah, we can see it now.
Okay. Sorry. There were so many things I think I shared earlier. But so we've come to ads, and I think I've been going through where we are. We've covered offer, funnel, and now we're on ads. So what is the purpose of the ad? So the question is simply simple. And I see this very many times. People want to sell and close in the ad, but that is not why you actually do the ad. Why is because you come off as desperate, and in most cases I've seen it, trying to do everything using the ad. Why? What I've just said, you come off as desperate, trying to sell. It's too much. There's so much you have to cover if you try to sell on the ad. So what I encourage you or other people, and what I've done for other people, is to use ads to bring out curiosity in someone we believe is target. When you do, you will find that you create one ad and you probably spend a day or 6 hours on it, and it won't work. The truth is that don't take it personal. Sometimes it's even beyond your control. And what I've learned in the past is that when you test something, you give it enough time. I want to encourage you to give it 7 days running on a budget you can handle. And in these 7 days, after the 7 days, make an informed decision. Did I get a conversion? What comments are people putting on the on the ad that I'm running? But you can't just wait for one ad. If you have the resources and the means, I encourage you to test different ads in a way positioning your product in different ways. Don't quit at the first attempt. I know people who say Facebook ads don't work, and you look at what he has done, and it's a bad ad that really just wasn't tested or given enough time to or improved. So what makes a great ad? There are 4 things, and they're not so hard, and you've all seen them. One, most of them, the good thing is that most of them are in your control. You have to have a great offer. We've talked about the offer. I won't talk about it again. You have to have a great ad creative. I think I've covered some of it. You have to have great ad copy. Great ad copy is what supports your creative. Your creative could be an image. Your creative could be a video. And that is supported by the copy. Most people want to read more and find out more when they're intrigued. The other factor that makes a really, really great ad is the targeting. And I think that is where I have had lots of interesting conversations with clients that I work for. So if you're creating an ad, the first thing you want to do is create curiosity centered around your offer. Yeah. So you have an offer, but in the offer, you have to make sure that it's a scroll stopper. Scroll stopper means someone is intrigued that they stop there and then, right? You have to articulate the problem you're solving, give a bold claim. Tell people in a training, you're going to teach them how to generate orders on autopilot, right? That's a bold claim, right? But make it and then back it up with how you're going to do it for them. So create curiosity centered around your offer. And your offer should be a scroll stopper, but also supported by the creative and the copy. Creatives, what works most is mostly videos. People love videos. We've moved on from people seeing static ads. Actually, now static ads seem a lot lazy, right? Everyone can create a video. It doesn't have to be studio production at the moment. All you have to do is get a camera, change the camera to show selfie mode, and then record your outcome. Images work well also. I've had success with images, mostly in e-commerce. People see a product they want. But whether you use image or video, try to clearly show the outcome. People are big on outcomes. If your ad is super complicated to create, you're probably doing it wrong. It just has to be easy. Yes?
Simon, yes, kindly summarize so we can attend
Yeah.
to some questions that are already coming in and all those that the people on call have.
Yes, yes. So I'm summarizing. Yeah, ad creatives. I think I talked about ad creatives. One other thing that I think people take for granted, and I've seen very many times, auditing campaigns, is ad fluency. Ad fluency is how your ad connects to where you're sending the people. So some people say something different, and when they send the person to where they are buying, it's a different thing altogether. It can be a mismatch in price, it can be a mismatch in the offer, or the copy is not aligned. And I'll give you an example of people who do it well. And here I'll give Jumia its flowers. If you ever know it's Black Friday, go check out the Jumia website. Or even if you see their billboards look exactly like what the website looks like. It's going to be black. It's going to be black. The pricing and everything that you see during that time coming out of that place is going to be black. So you have ad fluency there. What they advertise is similar and someone doesn't feel lost. Imagine how you saw me in a poster and I was maybe a good looking guy, and then you come here and I am like light skin. You're like, is this the same person? You would be maybe skeptical. Now, when you think about it in advertising part, that is very important. Ad creatives are arguably the most important. It's the first thing people do. It's what captures their attention. So you want to spend a lot of their time. It's what supports, it's what people captures their attention and gets people, and then you can add copy onto that to support it. We will go down further and talk about video creatives. I don't encourage using scripts. This I've gone through. Keep videos under 60 seconds. Include a clear call to action. There's a formula, it's sparse, mention the problem, agitate the problem, and then offer a solution. Or you could just say use the OPS where you create an offer, mention the problem and the solution. I think in my structuring this, I use that form, OPS. Types of copy, they are short form. So now there's a misconception that people have that you have to make your ad copy very short. That's not true. There are times I've seen long format copy work, medium format copy work, short format copy. What I encourage you to do is to try them all and see what works best for you. Do not try to sell. The goal of the ad is not to sell, it's to get people interested. This is another formula that you'd have to use when you're working with copy. It's APSA, attention, problem, solution, action. So in your ad copy, talk about the attention, articulate the problem, the solution, and the actions people should take so that you help them overcome that. That is what. So now the last part has to do with targeting. And I think here we are going to disagree or agree, but I'll tell you what I've seen work and what I've seen work for different industries. So many people, when they start to advertise, they want to say, I've seen people who sell maybe cosmetics. They look for people interested in lipstick, right? And they'll categorize people how they know them. But in most cases, these are biases. And you will find that, and this has been reinforced to me over and over. Even if I was selling, let me say, women's products, you will find you might get a lot of success with men. And please don't take this in any, like, even when you advertise men's items like perfumes, I can tell you sometimes the people buying the perfumes are not the men, right? And you might put your ad and say, okay, I'm not going to target men because I'm not going to target women because these are men's perfumes. The truth is that you are losing out on a lot of business because you're actually imposing your biases on top of that. So what do I encourage people? I encourage people to go broad. What that means is that if it's a first-time campaign, you say, I am advertising to people in Kampala. Give it a period of 3 months and then the rest is magic. Why? Facebook has structured their system to learn from the people you target who engage with your ads. It has enough of that data, it automatically directs you in the direction of where more of those people are. This works, and I've seen it work very many times. But for those who insist to do targeting, I encourage you to maybe avoid one simple bias. Is I've seen people say, when you go target, and when you pick the option, sometimes they say, I want people who drive cars, yeah, and they have a job, and they have. So in a way, you're piling. When you use the and clause, in most cases, and sorry, I can't articulate this very well. The more you add interest in using the and formula, using the filters where you're picking ads, you're actually excluding so many people. And this is why I don't encourage anyone to have specific advertising, especially if you do not have experience or you're doing it from the start. So that covers the ads part. And I think we've come full circle. We've done the fundamentals where we talked about psychology. We moved on to the funnel. We moved on to the ads themselves. And I think that would mark the end of today's training. I think with this information, and I think it's an overload because, yeah, it's been a while. Even it took me some good years to figure this out or master it and be able to replicate it for different businesses. So today gives you a hint, and I would encourage you to, I think, share this video to people who have attended to look through to points where it interested you and reach out for further guidance because we did not get enough time. Thank you very much. I would like to stop here and get any questions at the moment. Oh, I'm not seeing me. I will my best.
Yes. So we have one question. Thank you so much, Simon. We have one question that came in from Jonathan, and he was saying, "Hi, Simon. One of the challenges that some businesses face is not understanding the product life cycle. Sometimes the graph starts with a steep rise and then suddenly drops, hence consequences of revenue decline. How can this be managed well to sustain the business?" Simon?
Yes. I am here. So I think I've seen that happen before. I don't know if this fits the exact time, but when I worked, I think I was still employed and I was running ads for Jumia. What happened is that when we ran ads, we reached a point when, everyone had known what Jumia does. There was no structured way we were actually advertising to them. And what that meant is that we probably put out awareness campaigns and everyone knew about the business. There are businesses that come here and we all knew about them. I'll give you an example. Wave is a great example. They came and they painted this town Wave, right? That was great. But after that, it kind of fizzled out and it did not pick up as much as maybe they expected. Because for me, I expected them to be like the competitor to mobile money, that is Airtel, but we never got to that. So I want to think they reached a point where maybe the dynamics or the unit economics did not make sense. So in my experience, it has been people running campaigns that are not fully thought out or strategized. Because if you create awareness, people buy. How do you keep the people you've targeted buying? Do you have a workflow for that? Do you have a way you target them? Do you have a way to entice them when you have a new product, a new campaign? Can you reach these people? Or the day you spent money on them is the last time you will ever talk to them or know them. So it goes back to have a comprehensive strategy plan on how you market your items. That way you can avoid. But that is just high level. I think he would also need to look into his business. Any other questions?
Yes, please. We have another by Winnie, and Winnie is asking, are feedbacks important to businesses?
Yes. Yes, Winnie, feedback is very, very, very important. I'll give you an example. I set up, I think, a store myself, Ecommerce. And what I didn't do, I didn't offer cash on delivery, right? I ran the store, I got some orders, but I noticed very many people were adding to cart, they left their number, but at the end, they just didn't buy. Even when I had their contracts, send them automations and everything. And I also noticed in the Facebook ads, they were saying, where are you located? How do I order? In my head, I'm thinking, what don't you see? It says buy now, click that button, because it made sense to me, but it doesn't make sense to everybody. So some of these people left a lot of money in cart, and I had a lot of money stacked in the cart, all because people wanted to know where I'm located, which was somewhere on the website, but they just wanted you to give feedback and show you're actually a business that runs. They want to know there's someone on the other end that is actually human. Probably it's not a scam. And the question they'll ask you is that, why don't you offer cash on delivery? Because everyone offers it. I don't know you. I don't trust you. That makes sense. It's good feedback, right? And I probably had to tell them how I get the products and why it requires me to secure their payment before I deliver to them. And you can see that I benefited from the cycle because I understood what they were saying, and I then told them. Some of them were willing to actually chip in and pay upfront. So yes, feedback is very, very key.
All right, thank you so much, Simon. You can as well, everyone on the call, if you have a question, kindly unmute and ask directly before we end our session. If you have any questions, feedback, comments, remarks. Yes, Henry.
Yes, good evening, comrades. Simon, I have, I can say it has been a challenge that some of us who are in the business of fruits and vegetables and related items, the market is quite challenging with a lot of suspicion due to a number of intersections that have come up in the country and high level restrictions to the extent that majority of the buyers want referrals other than direct contact of the buyer. How do we go about that? I don't know whether I'm clear.
Simon.
Yes, yes. Henry, thank you for bringing this up. I just wanted to ask, when you say they want referrals, the buyers, what do you mean by that? They would rather buy from someone else? Yeah.
They would buy from somebody they know or somebody referred to them by somebody they know.
Yes. Yes.
So they ask, do you have somebody who can supply us this? So if you are not already in the circle of the people they buy from, it becomes difficult to get your inquiry responded to. Yeah, because of the challenges that have been faced in the market of possibly poor quality, interceptions, rejections, and other behaviors in the market.
Yeah. So I think the problem you point out is it could have other factors in it, but from a marketing point of view, I would see it this way. One, if people don't trust you, there are some trust signals you've not maybe ticked. One, they just don't know about you yet, right? And probably the people, the referrals or the middlemen that they are buying from, they are people they are comfortable with. What I would encourage you to do is put maybe a strategy together and create awareness in these places. So to these people, find a way you reach to them and tell them you're legit, you're probably even the supplier, you can give them a better price. But if they don't know all this, they'll probably think you're one of the suppliers. Like, I know some people who supply items, but they even look like they're the people making the products. They've taken ownership, they've created a good awareness campaign around the product that the product even looks like it came from them. So you would have to look at yourself and how you structured your business and your marketing initiatives and find out, are you actually known to these people? And if you don't know them, if they don't know you, how you now have to work around, how do I get these people to know me? I don't know if that answers me.
It answers partly.
Yeah.
But you know, we have different talents and different abilities. One of the challenges we face in the market is believing that you are all-rounder, that you will do marketing, you look for the market, you look for best quality, you will supply, you do. At the end of it, you fail to get a lead. So how do I do it if I'm not good at marketing?
Yes. So one of the services we offer, and allow me pitch to you because now you've given me a pain point, is that we at Imuka, we would work with you get to discover, learn more about your business, and help you overcome this issue. I'm not just Chief Commercial Officer at Imuka. I also bring my expertise as an expert in the Imuka ecosystem. So you can still reach out through Imuka and we work together on this. And I think someone is going to reach out to you to further the discussion, yeah? If that is okay
great.
with you.
Thank you. That's
Okay.
great.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, so we will have one more question. There's one here by Diane saying, "Hi Simon, thank you for the class. Do you think TikTok is a good platform for marketing, and can someone in food business benefit from it?"
Yes. One, I think right now, if you don't want to spend on ads, you have to be on TikTok. TikTok is what Facebook used to be in 2009. All you had to do was just be on Facebook and you'd get all the all the visibility you wanted. But at the moment, I've seen it on TikTok. Someone comes from nowhere, they do one video like this and they blow up and get 1,000 or 10 million views, which is not something you can pull off maybe on Instagram that easily. You'd have to be probably popular and you've done it for years. But TikTok now is like, it's the gold rush of businesses that want to just capture anything. And it's not only for food business, any other business. Any other business.
All right, thank you so much. I think we will stop our Q&A session right now. We're already past time. So at this moment, I just want to thank you all for participating in today's masterclass on how to book high quality appointments for businesses using autopilot. I'm sure we can all agree that this has been a very enlightening session. Thank you so much to Simon Chambade for leading this. We appreciate, and we have truly learned a lot. For some, using autopilot in their businesses may be a new concept. However, others might have been so eager to learn more about leveraging it effectively. Whatever the case is, we are just so excited that you chose to join us for this masterclass today. And look out for more. Imuka will be organizing so many other masterclasses. Kindly take your time to join our different WhatsApp communities. I'm so happy that most of you have joined, and you can as well follow us on different social platforms on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and the rest, LinkedIn. Yes, also feel free to visit our website, www.imuka.co, for more business growth opportunities, more insights, more services, how to leverage all these opportunities, and how to also learn more about what we do and what we can offer you, dearest entrepreneurs, as we also support you on this journey. So allow me end this masterclass here today. Once again, thank you so much for joining, and we will be happy to connect more on the different WhatsApp groups that we have. Yes, Galaxy S8, sorry, maybe you can share your name and business, but I'm going to share the link right here for you to join the WhatsApp group. So if you haven't joined, kindly join our WhatsApp group, because we share a lot of information on what we do, our services, business growth opportunities, different masterclasses and trainings. So follow us there and let's connect. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your evening, and thank you once again for joining in today. Bye. Yes, Isaac from Molova Agro Consults. Kindly use the link to join our WhatsApp group. We'll be happy to connect. Simon's number. Simon, somebody wants your number. Simon is on LinkedIn, and maybe he can advise on. Simon, somebody is asking for your number, so you can advise accordingly.
Yes, so you can get the contact, I think directly from Imuka. just send a chat. We'll share it with you. That should be easy, but also you can follow me on LinkedIn if you're there. Just search for me, Chambade Simon. So just reach out to the team. They'll share the number with you in the WhatsApp group they've shared.
Yes, thank you so much, Jemima, for joining. Thank you, Caroline, and every one of you else for joining. We're so happy to support and connect you.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Feel free to leave.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very grateful.
Thank you, Jemima.
Okay, thank you so much, Simon.